Welcome to part 2 of the conflict analysis instructions. This one will focus on the main body paragraphs using the Pearl process. Let's just review the Pearl real quick. The point is, for this essay, is to use the task from your prompt analysis to make your point. This is also called the introductory sentence. In this particular essay, you're going to be choosing one type of conflict, as in character versus character, character versus self, character versus nature, one of those. And then you're going to give one example for that paragraph. And then your other main body paragraphs will take that same type of conflict and use a different example. The evidence, kind of two parts here. First is paraphrasing the evidence. This is where you are saying what happens in these stories. We're going to use the somebody wanted but so tool, because what that will do, it will take actual events from the story but put them in your own words. Then we'll actually add some actual text evidence to support the somebody wanted but so by using some quotations and some small snippets of the story. Very important in the evidence to cite the source. This would be if you're using something from Broken Chain, to say this evidence came from Broken Chain. The analysis. This is actually your ideas. This is the most important part of this, because once you've stated your point, you've given some evidence to support that point. Now it's time to explain in your own words and ideas how that evidence supports the point. All right. In my sample paragraph that you will see in a second, I chose character versus character. So every bit of evidence I use, I always make sure I connect back. This is explaining why this type of conflict is in my paragraph. The repeat. Here we're actually going to repeat the evidence and analysis in this paragraph. We want to give more than one little bits of text evidence to support our conflict. And finally, the link is kind of the connection of your evidence and analysis, and you bring it back to your point. As you'll see in my paragraph, it'll be character versus character, but whichever type you pick, your link brings it back to the point. Let's take a look. Main body paragraphs. Here is my point for my sample paragraph. One type of conflict can be seen in literature as character versus character. I've started off, I let you know which type it's going to be. And then I'm going to begin right with my evidence. And I'm going to begin with letting you know which story I took it from. In Broken Chain, the main character, Alfonso, must deal with this type of conflict. These two kind of go together as a point. But let's get into some deeper evidence. And this is my somebody wanted but so. Alfonso wanted to borrow his brother Ernie's bike for the date with Sandra, but Ernie thought she played a joke on him, so he would not help. More evidence. That's actually the paraphrasing. This is going to be some very specific quoted details. Ernie says, ponytails. Those girls who mess with Frosty Me had ponytails. So I took that right from the story, and time to explain my evidence. My analysis is this evidence on the surface shows that reason that Ernie won't lend his brother's bike, even though we know that his logic is not that good. I'm going to get to that in a minute. In addition, here is a repeat of evidence. Same conflict, though. Ernie thought she must be the same girl because she lived 2 blocks away. And finally, my repeated analysis. My second bit of analysis. Again, Ernie's trying to find a connection to the girls, but looking deeper is where I kind of come up with my own ideas. Ernie is angry that his date did not work out and jealous his younger brother might have had a girlfriend before himself. Finally, the link. I need to connect this back to my character versus character. This example of the two brothers fighting shows how a character works against the main character. Obviously, in this case, the main character is Alfonso, and Ernie is the character working against him. All right. Now, that is one main body paragraph. This essay will need at least 2 main body paragraphs in addition to your introduction and conclusion, which will be a separate video. So whatever type you picked, I picked character versus character. You make sure your second main body uses that same type, but you're going to give another example of that type of conflict. You can choose any of the other short stories, or you might even be able to find another character versus